Hello, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we're going to talk about something called the sign rules. Now, integers interact with each other in a variety of different ways. And to be completely honest with you, there is a myriad of different ways to solve integer operations. In these videos, I'm really going to outline just one way. And a key to using this one way of solving integers is understanding something called the sign rules. The sign rules are really simple. They don't solve problems for us, but they make them easier to solve. They simplify them. And the sign rules are simply this. If I have two of the same sign next to one another, I can combine the two and simplify them into a positive sign. So if I had, for example, right here, I've got two positives. That one's pretty self-explanatory, two positives. I can actually just combine the two and turn them into one single positive sign. Make it nice and easy for me. This just makes a complex equation become a lot easier to solve. The same thing happens with two negative signs. I can take two negative signs, and if they're right next to each other, meaning there's no numbers in between them, I can just combine the two of them and turn them into a positive sign. You'll see what it looks like down below in the examples, but really it's just a way to simplify a problem. Not to solve it, but to simplify it. The inverse of this rule is if the two signs are different, then they simplify into a negative sign. So if I see a positive and a negative right next to each other, instead of trying to figure out all this mumbo jumbo, I can just simplify it into one negative sign. Keep it easy. Keep it simple. And vice versa, if there was a negative and a positive next to each other, like so, once again, I could just simplify it into one single negative sign. All about simplifying the process. Just makes adding and subtracting them a lot easier. So let's do 3 examples down below. I'll show you how easy it is to simplify. It's honestly, if you've got this same signs, positive, different signs, negative, you're good to go. So let's see what this looks like. Here, example 1. 7 plus negative 5. On its own, seems kind of complicated. You've got all those parentheses there. You've got two operations right next to each other. What do you do, Mr. Grapp? Very easy. Just look at the two signs that are next to each other. There's no numbers in between them, just the two signs. And I can see that it's a positive and a negative. They're different signs, so that means I can simplify them into one negative sign, just like that. And I'll just drop down the numbers. And my new equation is just 7 minus 5. Well, I can solve that. That's just the number 2. Easy peasy, right? Let's do another one. 8 minus negative 11. 8 minus negative 11. Once again, I'm just going to use the sign rules. There's no numbers in between these two signs. So these are two negatives. They're the same sign. So I'll simplify them into one single positive sign. And then I'm just going to drop down the numbers. I'll drop down this 8. I'll drop down this 11. Dropping them down a little too far. Let me do that one again. Drop down that 11. And I end up with 8 plus 11. Well, that's easy, Mr. Grapp. That's just 19. You're right. It is easy. And one more. Let's simplify one more. Once again, I've got a negative sign and a positive sign. They are different, so they're going to simplify into a negative sign. And then I'm just going to drop down the numbers. Notice that I didn't simplify this negative sign and that negative sign. Why didn't I combine these two? Why don't you pause the video and try and answer that question? Why didn't I simplify those two? Is there something that's in the way? Great, thanks for unpausing it. Yeah, it's this number here. I can't simplify these two signs because there's a number in between them. So they won't simplify. It has to be just the two signs. This parentheses doesn't really matter. It just can't be any numbers in between them. Okay, so we'll drop down this entire number here. So I got a negative 5 minus, then I'll drop down this number here, a positive 3. -5 minus 3. Well, that one's not as easy to solve, is it, Mr. Grab? So is there another piece to the puzzle to solving integers operations that you haven't told me yet? Yes, there is. And we're going to talk about that one in the next video. Just remember, this doesn't solve your problem. This makes it easier to solve. Take the signs. If it's just two signs with no numbers in between, smush them together to create one sign. Same signs become positive, different signs become negative. All right, I'll see you in the next video where we actually get to solve some of these.